Now, if you aren't inclined, so you're not very artistic, this is something that you would love to outsource, I want to bring your attention to a couple of things. So firstly, obviously these designs have been AI generated, and they've put together a number of different options. In this particular case, I'd like you to notice, given that we've done filming funeral services, what are the colors that have come back? What are the design styles? What's soft, what's inviting, what's too corporate? Have a look at all of that. So I really like that you can go in there and be able to compare and contrast the different types of designs and the different feelings that they have.
This is the Business Owners Smashing It Online podcast for entrepreneurs and business owners looking for cool online tools, apps and strategies to make business easy online. My name is Nick Cree and I'm your host. Each episode features a guest expert demystifying the online universe, sharing inspirational ideas and providing tested real-world strategies to help you get the most of what's available online to grow your business today. Don't be a slave to your business, get your business working for you. Subscribe now and get some great content and ideas for you and your business today. I am going to hand it over to Jenny to talk to you about one of my favorite online tools and apps, and that is canva.com. If you haven't seen Canva before, prepare to have your mind blown wide open. If you have been a Canva user, there have been lots of new features that have come in recently, and Jenny's going to show you some of those. Obviously not all of them, because there have been heaps of tools and things that have come in recently. If you are a pro at Canva too, keep your mind open, because in here with all of these new tools, and if you are a pro, then you'll know that Canva removes things periodically. They move things around and they add new things into it. So there is a new suite of tools, and so Jenny's going to talk to you about that. So Jenny is the person that teaches the Canva for Business Mastery program. I know there's some people on the show here tonight that have been through that program. She is going to have to rewrite it for next year because of all the changes that are there. But when we run again next year, then two things. If you've been before, you're lucky enough to come along for free because you've been before, so you do get to come to the future ones. If you've not been before, then you're in for a treat as well too. But tonight is about showing you some of those tools. So let's put your hands together and welcome to the stage, Jenny Moutou.
Thank you, Nick. Hello, everyone. It's really great to be here with you this evening, and I'm hoping that with what we go through today, you might pick up some tips and tricks that you can use and implement pretty much straight away. I will invite you to stop me if I'm going too fast. I won't have all your beautiful faces in front of me. I will be focused on the Canva screen itself. So feel free to unmute yourself and shout out and let me know what your questions are, or hopefully the team will be monitoring the chat. So I'm going to take this very slow. I'm going to make the assumption that you're just new to Canva. And so questions might be, what's Canva and how do I even get started? And we'll get progressively, in depth as we go along. One of the great things that is interesting, as Nick said, like every time we've taught Canva over the year, I've noticed how many changes have taken place. And Canva has positioned itself to be the primary competitor for the likes of Google and Microsoft, and are going great guns in terms of being able to offer some really cutting edge and competitive solutions to what's out there in the marketplace. And they're doing that on one platform, which is really, really amazing. So I'm going to start off by just sharing my screen, and you will be able to follow, hopefully, by seeing my little pink cursor there. And I'm going to start off actually by telling you and letting you know that one of the major changes with Canva in 2023 has been, and more recently, the introduction of what they call Magic Studio. So Magic Studio, you'll see, is accessible from the homepage of Canva. It's on the left-hand navigation side, and it's in blue there just to stand out. It is very much AI driven. And as you'll start to see, there's some really phenomenal and exciting introductions in there. So we are going to focus a little bit on that today because of the developments that have been made. Now, some of these features are quite new, so they're not going to work as well as we might hope. And obviously, the more people feed into it, the more it's going to have the information to get better and better. So Magic Studio, I would encourage you, if you're new to Canva, if you're old to Canva, wherever you are on the spectrum, is to come and check this out. And the first thing we're going to look at today is this Magic Design. So Magic Design is essentially the AI tool for Canva, where if you are really bored with the hundreds and thousands of templates on offer at Canva and you want something made just for you, this is where you come along. So Magic Design gives you the option to basically put in a prompt, and I'll put in a prompt up here. So as an example, I'm just going to copy and paste. So here's an Instagram post. I'm going to get Canva to design me an Instagram post to promote my new book. And I just click enter and see what it comes up with. So this is basically like having your own marketing agency. And you'll see what happens here is in the first top part of my screen, you'll see Magic Design and beta. Obviously, it's still in that beta phase. And Canva will actually start to design give me some options for designs to promote my new book on Instagram. So you'll see a whole bunch of different templates and options here. And that's what it's come up with. So I have the option to either choose one of these. And if I don't quite like what it's put together, I can actually redo this prompt, or I can scroll down and have a look of the 1 million plus templates available and see if I can find something in there. What's interesting about this, I want to show you, is that you can put a whole bunch of different prompts in. So let's try something else. There's a prompt to create Facebook posts to promote my filming funerals, just for you, Paul. And again, you'll see under Magic Design, it'll come up with a whole bunch of options. And some of these are going to be really on point and some of them are going to be terrible. I will let you know now. So there we go. Whoops, okay, sorry, just having some issues with the second screen here. Okay, so here we go. Here are some options. Now, if you aren't inclined, so you're not very artistic, this is something that you would love to outsource, I want to bring your attention to a couple of things. So firstly, obviously these designs have been AI generated and they've put together a number of different options. In this particular case, I'd like you to notice, given that we've done filming funeral services, what are the colors that have come back? What are the design styles? What's soft? What's inviting? What's too corporate? Have a look at all of that. So I really like that you can go in there and be able to compare and contrast the different types of designs and the different feelings that they have. And one of the things that I feel that Canva solves the problem of, I've heard this about ChatGPT. ChatGPT solves the blank page problem. And for anyone who's a writer, you're very familiar with that problem. If anyone who's ever had to write content, you didn't know where to start, ChatGPT is phenomenal for that. In the same way, Canva's phenomenal for that blank page design. So I would just go blank if I had to think of something to write or design from a blank page. And I love that it can give me many options. I'm going to do one more in this AI feature, and this is a pitch deck. So if you're doing any kind of promotions for your business, if you're doing any B2B, this might be something. So this is a pitch deck to promote cyber safety as an example. And it does take a little while, and my internet is a little bit slow. So let's see how we go. All right, so here we've got some designs starting to appear. Okay, so keeping safe online. So I want you to notice that it's filling in the blanks here. So I've asked for a pitch deck, and it's coming up with not only the design, but then the words. So let's have a look and see. I'm gonna deliberately choose. I am actually going to deliberately choose this one, and I'm going to ask to customize this. And I'm doing that just to have a look and see what does the AI come back with. So here we go. We've got the first page, ensuring cyber safety today. There, that's pretty good. And going over to the next page, we've got an agenda. Then we've got some write-up on phishing, and that looks all pretty good. What's this video? Let's have a look at that. All right, we've got some hands. I am pretty good with cyber safety. Can't say that I would put that particular image in there. So you can see that the AI still has a little bit of finessing to go. Protecting your devices, online security, passwords. Yep, all of that looks pretty good. And then over to the images here. And again, we've got these, well, it says the human error, which is fine, but these images totally don't work for this particular pitch deck. And that's all okay. As I said, this is beta, and it's just great that you can not start with a blank page, and I can now start to edit this how I want to. So obviously the wording can be edited and the imagery can be placed. So that's just one example of the Studio, Magic Studio, and this in particular is the design. Any questions about that? No? All right. So into the next section, which is, again, going back to Magic Studio, is Magic Video. I really love this. I don't know about you, but I think that content creation could be a full-time job, and I could get lost in it, but it is a time suck. So this particular option is fantastic. So Magic Design for video, and click Try Magic Design. So what this allows you to do is select a number of different images. Now, with this one in particular, the images are all coming from pictures that I've uploaded into Canva. So if you've used Canva for a while, you know that there's features within Canva that will actually allow you to select stock photos for your designs. This section is pulling specifically from the uploads. So if I go ahead, it's going to give me the option to select up to 10 pictures, and I'm just going to select them at random here, and obviously they're all pictures of women, and we're going to create. And then it says here, describe the kind of video you want, and we'll use this to generate a design. So I'm just going to put in girls just want to have fun and generate. So now it's going to generate a video for me, and this is something I can then use on my social media. Okay, and it's coming up now. So before I play this, you'll notice the video slides down the bottom here, and you'll also notice that it's put some music to it as well. So let's go ahead and have a look and see. Can you hear the music there, Nick? No? Okay.
No music. No music. Probably because the share screen, there's an option there to select music or share the sound. So,
yeah, you've got to click that as well.
Shall I just sing?
Everybody loves my body sometimes.
Oops. Okay, so with that, did you say you couldn't hear the music? Is that right? No? All right, no problem. So obviously with this, you've seen it's put the video together, it's put the wording, it will match the wording in some cases to the actual image itself. And literally it would just be a point of me now downloading this. I'm going to actually, anyone with this link can view. I'm going to copy this link and put it in the chat so you can watch it later on when you save the chat, and you can have a look and see what it's done there. All right, so that is Magic Video. Very easy to use. It's really plug and play as far as that's concerned. The next thing I'm going to show you is the Magic Switch. So I really love this feature. Magic Switch, if for those of you that have been using Canva for some time, is two tools combined together. So if you've ever had to resize a document, so for instance, you've created an ebook and you now want to create a Instagram post with the cover of your ebook, as opposed to going in and creating a whole new Instagram post to get that to happen, you can use Magic Switch. So I'm going to just open up an ebook that I created earlier. And I want to repurpose this. So I'm going to do two things. I'm glad Angelique is on the call today because she's going to help me out by making sure that the French translation for this is correct. So Magic Switch will do two things. So firstly, it's at the top toolbar when you go into your design, and you can see it here, and it will allow me to resize the document, but I don't have to do it one at a time. I can actually select multiple resizings. So if I go in here and I decide, you know what, I'd like an Instagram resizing, I'd like let's see, what else? A YouTube banner and maybe a LinkedIn post. And I just click all of those and continue. And again, it just does take a little bit of time, but what this will do is it will create and resize those files all at once. So I'll resize to 3 designs and it will put them in my library in Canva, so that it'll resize it all together. You will have to check. So sometimes with the resizing, it's just a function of how that works, is that you still need to tweak the document potentially. And you can't help that, right? Because the dimensions are somewhat different, so things will move. But you can see here in my library, it's resized this for an Instagram post, for a YouTube banner, and a LinkedIn post. It's just written underneath, and obviously it's still populating that. And once that's done, I can show you. So this is the Instagram post. Let's see if it's going to work. There we go. So this is what I mean. So I would just take that and resize it and make it look how I want to, or I could just leave it like that. And it's actually created, so it's taken all of the pages of my ebook and just recreated them as Instagram posts. And here is the YouTube banner. And that's done again. So really, I mean, there's still a little bit of, it's still a little bit finicky insofar as, you know, I'm a perfectionist, so I would go back and fix some of this up. But what it does is it just puts all of the collateral in there for me, so I'm not having to copy and paste from my other designs and going backwards and forwards. So I don't mind a little bit of, you know, a little bit of changes that I would have to make, knowing that all the document is there in one place. And last one, let's have a look at the LinkedIn one. So there's your LinkedIn post, and that's all. Not too much to do there. All right, so if we go back to those designs, let's go back to the original here. So this is my original book, and now I can go back to Magic Switch. And you know what? I have customers in France. So I want to be able to reach French-speaking people and French-speaking clients with my Positively Fabulous book. So I'm going to get Magic Switch to translate this document, and I can select whatever language I want. So it's got Afrikaans, Arabic, Catalan, you just keep going, Dutch, French, Haitian, Creole. It's really quite amazing. So I'd like to test this out. Angelique, I hope your speaking and written and reading French is very good. Go ahead, I'm going to pick French and I'm going to get it to translate it. And then I'm going to open it up and just see what the French version looks like. And again, you know, with the lettering and the spacing, you may need to change a little bit, but here we go. Angelique, feel free to take yourself off mute and let me know if it translates well.
So, here we go. Présenter où? Oh, it's really good. It's really good.
The syntax is good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super.
Excellent.
Super.
So how amazing is that? Like, you can literally translate your ebooks, and for those of you that mentioned that you're authors, you have the ability to even just translate your posts into different languages using this tool. Literally a click of a button.
Can I ask you a quick question, if you don't mind? Because I'm in the process of. Can you add a little video in an ebook, or make things, you know, out, or make it a bit more magic?
Yes, yeah, absolutely can. So with Canva, one of the things that you want to think about is how is it going to be distributed and how is it going to be consumed? So the material that you're putting together, how is it going to be distributed and how is it going to be consumed? So if your material is going to be distributed online, consumed online, so you don't have any restrictions. So I could literally take this picture out of this little dog here. Once I take it off lock, take it out, and I go over to elements on the left-hand menu, and I'm going to look for a dog wash, a doggy wash. In the search term, I can go down to video, click select all, and find myself a video that looks kind of cute. So I'm going to take the let's go with dog wash, because that might just translate a little bit better. Here we are. There's a cute little video. So I'm going to drag that into my book there. And there you have it. Right. So then it will just play. Oops, where are we? There we are. So it'll just play. Does that answer your question, Angelique? The search feature in here is phenomenal. They have added a whole bunch of things in here as well. So it's really limited by your imagination. I'm just blown away by Canva and what it can do. All right. So the next thing we're going to go to is a new feature called Magic Animate, and this is something that you can use in your presentation. So I prepared a presentation earlier. We're still on the doggy wash theme, so forgive me if it's a little bit corny, but here we go. So this presentation was literally created out of a resizing. So rather than redo this all over again, I just used Magic Switch, resized it for a presentation, and voila. So there's a feature in here that you can use. So if you go into apps on the left hand navigation and you type in magic. So there's magic morph and magic morph. Let's use magic morph. All right. So actually, let's start again. I'm going to go in and find, I wanted some doggy paws, which you can see here, just to accent this a little bit better. And in the graphics, I found some paws, and I decided, let's say I've decided I'm going to use this one. I can now go to apps, select the magic morph. Now I've selected this dog paw, and I just want to zhuzh it up a little bit. You know, it's not quite three-dimensional enough. All right, so let's see if we can make this three-dimensional. And this is all experimenting. I don't know what Canva can do. Let's change the color to red. And we just put in the instructions, magic morph, and let's see what it comes up with. I love that you can just play in this system and you can't break it. And it's just phenomenal like that. All right, so there we have it. We have a paw that almost looks like a blow-up balloon, kind of, you know, those helium balloon type things. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Like, and that's just all from just giving it an instruction and giving it an example of something that we have. And, you know, I could then just repeat that and just keep putting it everywhere over my document, whatever I wanted to do. There you go. So that's an example of magic morph. It simply just enhances images that you have, maybe add some dimension to it, maybe make it flatter in more gloss and more matte, limited again by your imagination. How awesome. All right, the next thing that you can do with your designs here is, if I actually go into this and have a look at how this works, you can, I'm just trying to find this feature, it's hidden. This is one thing that you will find with Canva, is that because it can do so much, you lose where things are. And because some of these features are still in beta, what you'll find is that you have access to them on some pages and then you won't have them on other pages. All right. So here we go. So if I'm on a presentation and I'm wanting to add some animation to that presentation, I can go in and select some text, for instance, and select, so the animate is in the white toolbar above where the presentation is, where it says shift. Right now there's an animation called shift on this presentation. I can select that and I can actually have a look and see a whole bunch of different animations. So if I remove this animation, let's have a look and see what comes up. We've got motion effects that you can apply to wording to make it stand out, make it more vibrant. So you can, there's a whole bunch of things. You can even create an animation. So the creating an animation will allow you to just simply hold and shift while dragging the cursor along, and then your wording does exactly the movement that you created. You could waste a lot of time here. Are you getting that? All right, next one I want to show you is Magic Grab. I really like this tool. So, you know, a lot of us are creating social media campaigns, and I create a design, and let's say I'm going to create a Instagram post. And I have an image that I want to use. So whether it's an image that you're using for your business to promote solar or to promote the new course that you're running, Jeff, whatever it happens to be, maybe that image just isn't quite right. So I'm going to use the rock here. I don't think he would mind, do you? And I'm going to put him in my picture. And of course, he's now got this background, which I don't really like. So if I select this image and go over to edit photo, I can do a couple of things here. So there is a whole, so the Magic Studio continues in the edit photo options. So I can remove the background. I can erase things in the picture. So if I wanted to erase his two fingers that are sticking up, I could do that. I could expand the image to fit the whole page, for instance. So let's Magic Expand. Let's see how that works.
It'd have to know what he's wearing below the line.
All right. And if I wanted to just do something different, there is a new feature in Canva called Magic Grab. And this will take the image out. So a little bit different to the background remover. It actually it kind of works the same way, but gives you some different functionality. So here we go. We've got the rock and we've got his background, and we can delete his background altogether. And we now have just the rock by himself. And if I go over to elements, what sort of background could we give him? Let's put him in, let's put the rock in a nightclub. Okay. So I can go in and I can either find videos or graphics or anything that I like. So in here, I'm going to find a photo, and there's a photo of a whole bunch of people partying. I can use the Magic Expand, or I can simply move that around. I'll move that picture to the back, and there's the rock hailing his friends at the nightclub, right? It's a fun example, but of course, if you're taking photos for books, you're taking photos for marketing, there's so many things that you can play with, and you can use the same image, changing the background, changing the look and feel and the mood of that picture just by doing that. So really great tool. Angelique, you asked before about Magic Wand. There is no Magic Wand in Canva, so this would be your equivalent of that. So just using either the background remover or the Magic Grab.
It's what I meant, actually. I couldn't remember the words.
All right.
What's Magic Media on the bottom? Are you going to run? Did you?
Magic Media. There you go. So Magic Media. Describe the image you want and we'll generate it for you. All right, let's see here. What do we want? Do you want to give me an image since you're off mute?
Transformation, an image about transformation.
Okay, let's give that a go.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
Let's try this. All right, transformation. I don't know what that would come up with. So this can be interesting. And I think I spelled that wrong.
Yeah, you did. That's okay.
There you go. It's got transformers. That's the image it's come up with. And you could potentially do videos as well.
Oh, you can see. Generate video, I see. You have to describe a scene, not just a word, I think.
Yeah, yeah. But this is, you know, the technology is in that beta phase, so it is learning everything. And so this is all part of that learning process for us and for the tech.
What's the AI companion?
Say again?
The AI companion on the bottom.
Not seeing that. Where are you seeing that?
Next to the summary.
That there is on your Zoom screen. That is for Zoom. That's not Canva. So that is, in fact, there's a brand new AI thing that's come into Zoom as well. So if you click on that, it'll catch you up with what's actually happened. Anyway, that's Zoom, not Canva.
Yeah, that puts you in the Zoom meeting without you actually being there.
Oh. Wow.
Stirring. All right, I'm gonna let that go and come back to it. And a couple of you mentioned landing pages, so I might just flip to that real quick and have a look. So with landing pages, this has been in development in Canva for some time. What I'm noticing is that they still haven't got the technology to the point where you can have a multi-page landing page. And what I mean by that is that it actually is indexing different pages. So right now you can have one page website, and obviously you can have links on that take people into different areas, whether it's a lead magnet or a survey or something that you're completing. But how it would look is you would simply do, it's a one-page website, but it's a long one-page website. So let me just show you what I mean. So this is your homepage, for instance, and if you've got navigation, you would then be able to see that by scrolling down. So this is what people would see as they scroll down. So that's the landing page. When you go into landing pages on the homepage of Canva, you can actually type in website or access it from the navigation pane there. And that's how you would start with creating. And then you'd pick a design, or you get the magic design to create a design for you. And you just build it out from there. So every time you have a page, so if I just choose this, for example, if I want a new page, I just simply add a new page, and that would give me a very long page. Some of these templates will have that built in for you. And if it hasn't, you can just click add page, and it'll just keep adding those pages. So if we go back to the one that I created earlier, that's all we've done with this. And then you can create links. So this service tab, if I want to make a link for that, I would select it. There's 3 dots there. I would select that and edit link. So in this case, it's telling me it's a deleted page, but actually I want to pick our services and click done. And now if I make this web page live, somebody clicks on services, they'll pop down to the our services section. So that's landing pages in a nutshell. Does anyone have any questions about this? Because I'd like to, I know there was a couple of you that asked about landing pages specifically. So if you've built this, you can publish the website, and you can do that a number of ways. You can either do that using Canva's free service with a free domain, or you can purchase a domain, or you can use your existing domain. It's beyond the scope for today to go into that, but just letting you know that those are the options that you could then make this web page live. So just pause there, just check in if there's any questions. No? Okay. So you'll recall earlier that, yep, sorry.
There's a couple in chat there.
There's a couple in chat. Okay, lovely.
So I've got there, Connie's asking, does Canva host the website?
Yes, it does. So if you pick to publish the website using the free domain, it hosts the website for you. It's just the URL is a little bit funky because it'll have some sort of Canva reference in there. Otherwise, you can use your own domain, and then you can, correct me if I'm wrong, Nick, you can just make up your own URL for that.
Yes, you can. Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else?
Another question here, compared to Adobe Firefly and DALL-E 3, how does Canva text to image compare? That's probably a bit beyond the scope of Jenny because she hasn't used either of those. But just to say, Con, that's more the AI tools there. I know that you're sort of well across AI. Canva it does compare pretty well, and it has been investing a lot of resources into it. So, but worth comparing side by side and sort of see what we think. But from what I've seen, it's certainly in recent times, it's definitely comparable to some of those other AI image tools.
Yeah, I think with the text to image, anything involving animals and people still looks a little bit distorted and weird. I tried something earlier today, and it used the image of an elephant, which was fine, but then the animals behind it looked really kind of distorted. And thankfully, they were out of focus, so they weren't going to scare anyone. So that's landing pages. I'm going to go over and just have a look at a flyer and just show you how you can create a flyer that then has a QR code in it and potentially even a video. So remembering, going back to how is this going to be distributed and how is it going to be consumed? Let me see. Here's an example of one I created earlier. And with this, I actually did put a video in this flyer on the basis that I was going to use this for a GIF. So I'm going to show you that in a little while. So there's the flyer. Obviously, the design, you can choose from a whole range of designs. And I'm going to say that sometimes I'm in the middle of a design. So let's say that this is the first page and I need to put a back page to this, but I don't want to follow the template options that I've been given here. I actually want to put a whole bunch of offers on the back. So I'll actually go into the menu on the left hand and put in offers and just click enter and then see what other templates come up that sort of fit what I want. So let's say that, for example, this one here was what I wanted. I could then apply it to that second page and then make the changes, you know, to be consistent with the coloring and etc. So not limited by what you've already got, you can just keep going and expanding. So with this, I'm going to show you how we created a QR code to put in the flyer. So in the apps on the left-hand side in the navigation tool, if you click on apps and you type in QR code, you'll actually get a number of different options. I've tried a few of these. Some of them are a little bit buggy. Some of them will require you to register and then get some credits to be able to use them. So things like Hello QR was a little bit buggy, and I think the dynamic asked for, you know, put you on credits. So the easiest one to use was actually the QR code at the top left hand there. And you would just simply put in your URL. So if I did /go, .co and generate the code, and there it is. And if you wanted to use your phone, you could check and see, did I get that right? And is it taking you to the /go website? So that's QR codes. And then with the book now, if this was something you were distributing via email, and so they were getting it as a PDF, obviously you'd want to take this video out and put something else in. So just an image of a dog wash. And in that case, I would use a photo. So maybe something like this. How adorable is that? And then I'd be downloading this from Canva as a PDF. So again, I'd go into here. So if I click on the book now text, it brings up a box and 3 dots. And I click on the 3 dots, it would say add a link. In this case, it says edit link because there is one in there already. And you can see I've just popped the /go link in there, clicked done. And that way, anyone who hovers over that as a PDF will now get a link straight through to the /go website. The cool thing about this, if I go back to the video that was in there, is I can actually download that video and download this flyer as a GIF. So I don't know if you've ever read an email that has a GIF in it, but the GIF is just a video image that keeps moving. I'm going to see if I can locate the one I created earlier. Okay. Actually, This is where it is. Just bring up the email. So gifts are something that you can send in email. So I just went into Canva. In the share section, you can download. I could download the flyer as a GIF. It's taking a little bit of time to show up here. And just embed it in an email and send it off. But it's making a bit of a liar of me. So let's see. There we go. And there's my video working. Pretty cool what you can do. And all trial and error. Obviously, if I'm sending this via email, my book now button, just so you know, doesn't really work. So the QR code is perfect, which is why the distribution and knowing how people are going to consume it is important to know. But just kind of a cool little attention grabber. All right, final one for today is the book cover. So for all of you aspiring or current authors, this is how we do that. So I'm going to bring up the ebook that I created earlier. I'm going to download the first page of this ebook only. So a bit confusing, but the download button is on the top right and it says share. So we click that. I'm going to click download. I want it as a PDF standard, or actually I want it as a PNG file. And I don't want all 7 pages. I actually just want the first page. And I've downloaded the French version here. And download. And this is where we go to the cool little tool that Nick mentioned before. In the 3D smart mockups. Right, so let's have a look. I'm going to select this book cover, click next, upload my image. There it is. Go to next, and now it gives me the option, will I download it as a PNG file or a JPEG? I'm going to download it as a PNG file. And once that's done, I can have a look at it. And I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so that's what it ends up looking like. It's pretty cool. Canva's equivalent, I would encourage you to have a look at it. It's not that great. So what it does is basically places the image over something that looks like a 3D book. But of course, if your book is on an angle like this one is, and your image is flat, it's very hard to get that sort of complete look. It just looks like it's pasted on. It doesn't look good at all. I have a play with it anyway. So what I would do with this from here is if I actually wanted to now use this because I was creating a flyer in Canva, I'd go back to Canva, I pick a new design, so create design, and in this case, I'm just going to, let's do an Instagram story again because it's just easy. I now have to upload that 3D book cover that I just created.
You might want to flick your share screen over to Canva again.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that. Here we go. Right, so Instagram post, click upload. I'm going to upload the 3D book cover. And then once that's done, I can drag and drop it into the Instagram post and then use it for whatever I'm going to promote. And there it is. And now if I wanted to, post that, I could do that quite easily straight from Canva. I could link my social media accounts to Canva. So back up to the share button, and I could share on socials, and there's a whole bunch of options. So Pinterest, my Facebook story, TikTok, LinkedIn, Tumblr, Facebook, Instagram, and on it goes. I could also schedule that post. So I could actually go into that and then start to schedule that, and Canva would then post it for me automatically. All right, Nick, I think that's about it from me. Unless you wanted to do one more thing just in terms of content creation. So I mentioned before that Canva is like your one-stop shop, right? So if we go into creating a document, just as an example, we had Troy earlier who mentioned that he gives advice around solar. If I wanted to, I could write a post and use Magic Write. So Magic Write is the Canva equivalent of ChatGPT. Write a post on the top 10 reasons to buy solar, and click enter, and off we go. Generate. There we are. So let's qualify these. If you're thinking about purchasing a solar panel system, you're on the right track. Here are the top 10 reasons why buying solar panels is a smart investment. So save money on your energy bills. Solar panels generate electricity from the sun and can save you a significant amount of money on your utility bills. Well, that can validate that. Increase your home's value, reduce your carbon footprint, earn tax credits, enjoy energy independence, low maintenance, protect against rising energy costs, support local jobs, take advantage of net metering, and set a positive example. How's that? How long did that take? 10 seconds maybe? And it's just, I think for most of you, the complication is going to be, how do I find that again? And thankfully it's on video, so you could just keep re-watching it. But this is phenomenal, because what we would then do is, if you had 10 days and you wanted to post the top 10 reasons, you took 10 days, you did one post a day, it's done. It's taken care of for you. You'd go back to Magic Design, design me a template for Instagram posts for solar, and see what it comes up with. And that's it. All right, Nick.
What's happened to me here? All right, I've gone all dark. Any questions at all there? A couple of comments here. For those that don't know, PNG is lossless, while JPEG degrades every time you save it. So always choose PNG. So yep, absolutely. And also PNG removes, if you don't have a background, then it will it'll keep a removed background, whereas JPEG will always put a background in. All right, what else have we got for questions? Can you add media links, links to social media posts in your graphics and ebooks?
Yes, you can. So in that section that I showed you before, so if you go into any design, depending on how you wanted to present that, so normally, obviously, that would be a link. And if you had some text, so for instance, the text might be click here. And if I click there, you can actually go in and add links that way. So we covered that very briefly in the flyer section. Much easier if you're doing it in front of the computer at the same time, but you can, yes.
Excellent. So lots of awesome, great info. Thanks so much, Jenny. Really helpful. Excellent. Any other questions at all? We've got Annie has got her hand raised.
Yep, just a quick question, but thank you, Jenny. That was great. I'm going to go and look at a whole lot of those things now. I've had terrible trouble making a YouTube banner, and I've looked online to see what the proper dimensions are supposed to be for 2023. I put that into Canva. I change the size of it. I go to load it, and it says this much you can see on all devices. So nearly all of my design is not usable, and I've had to go back and do it again and again and again till it actually fits, and you end up with just a little rectangle if you're looking at it on the computer, but supposedly that's all you see on the mobile phone. So are there any tricks about how to make that more user-friendly?
Certainly. So I'm just going to share my screen real quick again. So if you use the designs that are here just as they are, I'll just quickly find a YouTube. They're going to be stock standard, and sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. Even when you're looking at dimensions online. So the first thing that I would recommend is whatever you're picking. So I'm just going to pick something really random here for a moment, just to show you that you can actually set the safe zones. We go into this in a lot more detail in the course, but just if you go into a design and you select File, View Settings, you can show rulers and guides. And when it brings up some margins on the top and the left-hand side of my page. So can you see that?
Yep.
Yep. So if I click on the left where the ruler is and actually go across, you'll see a line shows. Now that line is not on my design. This line is just a guiding line. So I can actually set safe zones on my work to know where is the safe zone for my image. So while the dimension of this YouTube banner is whatever it is, let's see, it's 1280 pixels by 720 pixels. So while it's that, the actual safe zone is going to be different. So I can set the safe zone on my design. So I see what it looks like. And if you are able to do this a couple of times, you can actually set it so you find where the happy medium is for all of the different dimensions and devices. And then you set the safe zone in there. So, well, whatever you're creating is inside the square of your safe zone, which is a little bit hard to see with this red background. And then everything else is just behind it. Okay. Can you see those lines?
I can. Yep. Thank you for that. I'll play around with that. It's just been incredibly time wasting, and I thought there must be a way around it.
Yeah, this is the easiest way. And if you are doing these things, I would then go and, if this was my design and this was the template, I would actually save it as a template.
Yep.
So then I don't overwrite it again.
Yep.
And and just keep using that.
Making a copy. Yep. Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have to say, Annie, that the safe zone in the YouTube video visible on all devices is very small. So it is a very small area in the middle.
Yeah.
Right. So creating your design, there is some creativity about getting all of the stuff that you want visible on all devices in the middle. Then outside of it, you just build up your image for the those bigger devices. So that can take a bit more time. Unfortunately, the templates in Canva, some of those people that design those templates haven't taken into account that very small safe zone in YouTube. But I've dropped a link into chat there for all the safe zones. So you can download that, and then you can just set up those guides and margins as Jenny's just talked about.
Paul just asked a question around free and paid. To be honest with you, I couldn't answer that question. I was a convert of the paid version somewhat by default a little while ago, and now I think it's like $20 a month. It just, for how much I use it, just nothing really, So I think you can get a few options, but it's a bit like going back to records after you got used to Spotify and having any music on demand. It's really limiting.
Yeah. No, I was, while you were doing them there, I was trying to click on the other screen to see them there, because I don't use it enough to warrant the pro.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, yes, I could see them, so most of them. Just wondered.
It is interesting to see where it is going, particularly with that magic design option where you are literally putting in what you want and it's spitting it out for you. And as it gets better, it's going to be cheaper than, dare I say, finding a marketing agency.
Yeah. And more reliable.
Yeah.
When you say I want it, it gives it to you now instead of saying Good, I'll have it for you tomorrow and still chasing them up a week later.
Yeah.
Did I say something about
Yeah, and I don't know. So you really just have to play. So if you go to the home screen of Canva and just look for the Magic Studio, you should be able to see what you can see from there. All right. Well, I invite you guys to get busy designing. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out and we're happy to help.
Excellent. All right. So there, I would imagine there's going to be a lot of people heading down that, what would you call it, rabbit hole, the Canva rabbit hole, just to go and test all of those tools and tips and tricks and whatever. If you thought you're going to relax and do nothing over the Christmas and New Year period, we've now just given you a job to go and test out all of these Canva stuff. So, but feel free, if you've made some designs or whatever, you can actually post in the Business Owners Smashing It Online group. So if you've made some posts, you've got an ebook, you've got a promotion or whatever, feel free to go in there. There are hashtag days in there as well. So just make it match that hashtag. That's a good way to showcase your designs as well too. All right, if you've got any more questions at all, what's the best way to reach us? Well, you can go to smashgo.co. If you just go to the website, you can always shoot a question through there. Find us on social media and you can ask a question there. If you want any help at all, then I know Jenny will be more than happy to help you with that. I'm throwing you in it, but I'm sure she will be. And, always happy to answer questions here as well too. All right, now we do have a door prize as well for tonight. So what have we got? I think I'll be doing the Wheel of Names tonight because the internet's a little bit unstable in the Philippines, it would appear. So what we've got tonight is we ran the course Canva Mastery for Business during this year here. We do have a recording of it as well. And so we record the whole session. And so tonight's prize is a recording of all of those videos, over those 6 weeks. Us live to work through with you, but get the recording there. Just remember that the recordings of this is well, I was going to say it's really old, but it's not actually really old as this year. There's a whole lot more to be added onto it as well, but there's enough in this to really get you cracking with it all as well. So some lucky person is going to win this. I bet it's going to be someone like Aldwin or Gordon Green who has been on the course. If that's the case, then you can either sort of throw it into redraw or find you something else, or you can gift it to someone as well too. All right, well, let's bring up the Wheel of Names. I think that's me to share the screen. Let's have a look here. All right. Oh, we've got the Wheel of Names up. Look at that. Okay. All right, let's spin that Wheel of Names. Give us a virtual drum roll, please. And let's see who our lucky winner is tonight. And it is Blake Fox. Well done. You there, Blake? You have to be in the room to win it. Is Blake still here? Actually, I can see him there. I think he's probably going to drop it into chat. Yes, he has, because they happen to be watching this on a big screen TV projected out there, so they don't have camera or microphone. So fantastic. That is yours, Blake. We'll connect up with you tomorrow. We'll get you the logins and all that sort of thing for tomorrow. Again, we'll be running this Canva for Business course or this program next year. It will be including a lot of the new tools, and there have been lots of new stuff happening there. It is a step-by-step run through with it all as well. You'll bring a project along, we'll get you up and running, working with you, I was going to say one-on-one, but one-on-one in a group, so you're actually doing the stuff in there. So watch out for your emails, social media, and we'll be sending out more info about that. Just looking on screen here, who's done that? There's Gordon, Margaret, Aldrin, probably a few more that I might have missed out. So I'm sure they would agree that it was a fabulous, of course. I see some nodding there as well too, so well worth it. All right, if you enjoyed tonight and you'd like to catch up with it again, or you missed some things, or you want to watch it again just to pick up some of the things that Jenny ran through, then it will be up on the Smash Go YouTube channel tomorrow. So it'll be up there tomorrow afternoon. If you are not a subscriber, then the link is in chat now for you to go and subscribe to the channel. When you do subscribe to it, just hit that little bell and you'll get a notification as soon as the video has been uploaded. And now is a great time to save that chat. That's got all the links in it to the cool online tools and all the links and whatever that are in the chat here. You're not sure where to save it. If you click on the three little dots at the bottom of the chat, you can then save it. It'll give you the option to save it. When you do save it, there'll be a link there telling you where it's saved it. Click on that link and then you don't have to look for it on your computer. It will be there. All right, someone says there is an earthquake in the Philippines as well. So that's probably why sort of the internet's been on and off there as well. I think that was in Manila with Jeff. So stay safe over in the Philippines. I know some of our team, what have we got? Lorena has been affected by those down in Davao down south. So yeah, not so good. All right, well, that's our show for tonight. Thank you for coming on. Next week is our last session for the year, and it is on grants. So if you're looking for grants to apply for, there are a ton of grants available by the government. We've got Kim Yabsley coming on next week. She is a grant specialist. She's going to be talking about how to apply for them, where to go for them, what to put in grants applications. She is an expert in this field, well worth coming on to that as well too. So that's at the same time next week. So for now, go and have a good night and we'll catch you next time. Thank you for tuning in and listening to the Business Owners Smashing It Online podcast. You can also find me on social media and online. Just search for Business Owners Smashing It Online and Nick Cree, spelled Nikree, all one word. If you like this and want to hear more, subscribe now. Until next time, don't be a slave to your business. Get your business working for you.